Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Brian and welcome back to our NDSU Dynasty series here inside of College Football 27. Last time, you remember, we started our Dynasty off. We kind of introduced it a little bit. We introduced the team, we set up a scouting board, and we kind of did some of the new blueprint management that's in this game thanks to the new points that are in the game for NIL and budgeting and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that was basically what we did last time. But now today, we're going to hop into our first game, get that all done. But before we do that, I'm actually going to take a look first at the schedule because I realized while I was editing the last episode that we forgot to even cover that at the end of the last one. So obviously you can see our first game here, but yeah, let's head over to that real quickly before we hop into our game. So taking a brief look at our schedule here, obviously we start off with Jacksonville State this week. Next week we take on an FCS team, an FCS Northwest. Then we face the Air Force, so our first conference game of the year. Then we go to Sacramento State, all the way in Sacramento, California. We have a bye in week 4, so we have an early bye. Then we get Wyoming, UNLV, Nevada, New Mexico, UTEP, and then another bye, and then we get Hawaii, NIU, and then end off with San Jose State on the road. So our last home game of the year will be against Northern Illinois, and as you can see, basically most of our games are conference games. Obviously, it makes sense. We want to obviously have a strong force in our conference, so majority of our non-conference games are in the first 4 weeks of the year. So we basically kind of have, looks like, 3 separate sections to our schedule. A first part, and then our big part in the middle, and then we end off with a little bit of a finale of the schedule ending on November before the final 2 weeks, which is around the time of the Army-Navy game and the conference championship games as well. So that's our schedule. If any of y'all were curious and haven't played this game or haven't picked up this game yet, this is what the NDSU Bison schedule looks like this year in their first year in the Mountain West. Now, I'm not exactly sure if the team is actually bowl eligible, given that this is their first year in the Mountain West or in the FBS 1 Division 1 level. So I'm assuming that if they are eligible, that we're going to be eligible for a bowl game if we make it there, but I'm not sure if this game took that into account or not. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out towards the end of the year, but we won't be there for a while. So, but yeah, that is our schedule. So one of the first things we get to do before we play our game, something they brought into this game, they haven't had it in years past, was the ability to have to assign, well, basically to practice every single week, and basically assign different levels of practicing, kind of how they did with the in this past year's Madden 26 with the different levels of practice. So you have full practice, you got limited practice, no practice, and then if you don't have a bye week, then you get the week, or you can set a player to have the week off, depending on what their injury level is. I think we're going to go full practice for everybody this week, though, but I just wanted to show off that we can basically set, a certain practice level for everybody, kind of like Madden, which is kind of nice. You can also see your at-risk players, or you can also sort by the position on the left side, and on the right side, you can sort by who has what. This game, if you have it set, I think, a certain way in your franchise or in your dynasty settings, will automatically have it set to one of these different, it'll auto, like let's say a certain game, you have a player that gets hurt during the game, they might, the CPU might go in the next week and have them set at limited practice or no practice, depending on what they're recovering from, what type of injury. So far, I've only had temporary injuries every time I've played. So I'm assuming they have other types of injuries in there too, which is why you can have at-risk players. But yeah, for this purposes of this one, we're just going to do full practice for everybody. And all I have to do, you see in the bottom left corner, I just have to press A to confirm. And then once I do that, you can see that everybody gets a ton of XP. There's practice or injury risk. You see no one's at risk right now. But we have 4 players that have increased composure, meaning I think they'll just, I don't know, be a little bit more into the game. They'll be a little bit more hyped up, so to speak. But you can also have guys with decreased composure as well. So that means that they can be not as into the game, or they can just be, not, feeling like themselves, or maybe they're a little bit not, basically, their head's not in the game. Is basically what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, we have a couple players here who got a boost there. The only one that really matters, at least to me, is Donovan Woolen, our starting Mike linebacker, who's already a 78 overall, 6'4", 220 pounds, from Frisco, Texas. Hopefully will be an excellent player for us, at least this year, if he doesn't go to the draft, or, try and transfer out of here, because we're only a 69 overall rated team. Alrighty, the last thing we'll do before we hop into our game is take a brief look at recruiting. Obviously, we did that last episode, but we couldn't offer scholarships or anything, and this is the first time we get to actually do this in this franchise. So something that's different, obviously, this year, is when you go to offer a player a scholarship. For example, this guy name is Tavita Rayola. Once I hit offer scholarship, it'll pop up with this menu. Basically, this is where your points come in. For this, in this case, expected NIL, your Dynasty points. That's what they're called. I kind of forgot about that, but you can go above or below what they're expecting. However, I did some research briefly before this episode, before I started recording this episode. If you were to offer your players more than what they expect, supposedly they will. That'll be what their expected NIL is like for the rest of their college career, essentially. So, for example, if I offered Rayola above 40, like right now he's expecting 40, if he starts to do well in games, wins awards, he'll probably expect more anyways in the future years. But if I were to already offer him, let's say like 60 Dynasty points or NIL right now, which is over what he wants, yes, I might have a better shot of landing him as a recruit. But on the flip side, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You kind of also then deal with that higher expectation of NIL moving forward. So every time I've done this so far, I've just been offering them what they want because I have that in my budget, which, as you can see in the corner, remaining says 685 points. Now that I just spent 40. So we're just going to go with that. And I will offer him a scholarship. I know he's not on our board, but I don't know. He's a dual threat athlete, so we might as well try. But yeah, basically we're going to kind of go through some of these recruits. I know there was Dwayne Breida, who was expecting no scholarships, but because he's a gem, I will offer him one. I don't need to offer him any NIL because he doesn't expect any NIL. So that's, we're going to do that. And I'm also going to, let's see, is he decent? I mean, I think he's pretty decent. I'm actually going to send the full house on him. This might seem a little bit aggressive right now, but trust me, I think it's going to help in the long run. We also have a couple players here that I actually didn't get a chance to scout last episode, like Tyrone Elkins, who's not terrible. He's got 80 run block power. It's pretty good. 85 impact blocking, 89 strength for a left tackle. Again, not on our radar, but he is from Lakeville, Minnesota. So I will also offer him something. Plus, he's not expecting any NIL at the moment. Jeez, that's hard to say. So I'm just going to offer him a scholarship here right now. I'm also going to offer a scholarship to Cortez Veal, who is now in our. We're the top of his list right now, and I'm assuming we're only going to be going up from there. But he was actually one of the few prospects that I found last episode that had us as the #1 school right out the gate. So we didn't really have to even offer him a scholarship, but I figured might as well. Plus, he's not expecting any NIL because, he's only a 2-star. He's not terrible in terms of his physicals, and like his tackling is pretty good for his hit power is very good for his age. So I think that's probably a good deal as well. I'm trying to figure out. I'm probably going to be starting to add more scouting and all that too. Some of these guys like Tyreek Swoop here, I didn't actually finish scouting him. He's not terrible, but that's the thing to note though, is that we only have so many scouting points, and I do want to start to use them more on some of these players where we're the top option for them. So because I made that mistake last episode, I kind of forgot that was a thing. So now we're just going to kind of go in here and look at some of these other players. And just like that, we have found another hidden gem in Taylor Manuel, who we're actually second on his board from Miami, Florida. I don't know if we're going to be able to get him, but I am going to offer him a scholarship at least. It's not going to have any NIL in it, so he might end up choosing University of Central Florida over us. But hey, always could be, always not a bad thing for us to try and land him if we can. I also just wanted to kind of scout some more of these defenders, like these corners. We got Alex Andries here, who is also not terrible. 36 awareness. Ouch. That's just really low compared to these other two. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. He is 5th, or we are 5th on his board, unlike these other two where we're obviously much lower. But I think I will go to offer on one of these guys here. I think it's actually going to end up being Kyle Bohannon. He is not expecting also any NIL either, so really, really glad I've chosen a lot of these recruits, and the fact that we're a lower overall school anyways. So a lot of these guys are not going to really expect to get money to come here. So the last few prospects I'm going to do some work on includes Matt Kiesel from a lurker linebacker from San Bruno, California, as well as Rashawn Savage and Marcel Hilbert. I wish I would have done Marcel Hilbert sooner because he is second, or we're second on his board. But again, he could also potentially just choose UCF, University of Central Florida, because he's from Florida. He's a junior college transfer, so sophomore there. But yeah, that's basically all I'm going to be able to do for right now. Again, we have a very limited number of hours. I suppose we don't necessarily have to have hours put towards some of these players that don't even have us on their board, like Dwayne Breida and Tavita Raiola. But I figured, at least for a start, we can probably have this. I don't really know why I chose to have these players, because they don't have us on their board. But honestly, we're a small school. That's kind of the whole point. A lot of them are 2-stars. They might not even get many offers, but we'll see. It is only week 0. So hopefully, after this week, we'll start to see a little bit more action in the recruiting side of things. But it never hurts to get a little bit more going right at the very start. So yeah, that's all recruiting. And now the last thing to do for this episode will be to play our first game against the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. So without further ado, I will see you guys just in a moment once we're inside the game. All right, everybody, we are here in the Fargo Dome in our first game as an FBS Division I program in the Mountain West Conference in week 0 against the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Let's make it a good one. As a reminder, we're going to be watching all of our games here in slow sim broadcast mode. So we'll get to see this team face off in this manner. So we won't actually be playing the game. So if you guys want me to play the game, either probably tune into one of my streams that I'll be doing on this game at some point, or potentially someday I'll do another Dynasty where I do play the game. But for now, let's just sit back and watch this game here as the Gamecocks will start with the football at about the 24-yard line. They're gonna launch it down the field, and that's gonna be incomplete. Knocked away. Couldn't quite see the number. That's the other thing I'll mention too. I'm not as familiar with this roster still, so I'm only really going to be focusing on the quarterback and maybe a couple of the receivers in terms of names, but I'll try my best. And to the tight end, went motion for 41, Peter Hugo on the tackle. 3rd down and 4. Tight end going to be motioned again. Drops back, throws in the middle of the field, and it's caught at about the 50 by Caden Creel. And off again, up the middle. And this is going to be the running back, Christian Lando. And he's going to get all the way up to the NDSU 38 with that last run. And here goes the quarterback dropping back. But he's being pressured, and he's going to be sacked by Keenan Wilson. And that'll be our first sack of the season. All right, 3rd down and 5. The Gamecocks here trying to make an effort again. Quarterback going to take off. Going to run and going to slide down to the about the 26-yard line for the first down. Going to go with another handoff to the running back. And he'll be stopped. And that's the Christian Lando again on the carry. Stopped by number 1, Donovan Woolen. Another motion here. Lando throws in the middle, and that's going to be complete. But 3rd down and 3 in the red zone. Defense backs up against the wall. Let's try and make a stand out there now, shall we? Facing some pressure. And throws complete to number 17. Lando making the tackle. Caden Creel on the receiving end of that. And Jacksonville State already making a statement early on here in this game. And a screen pass goes nowhere. Number 9 making the stop. Dropping back throws over the middle. Complete 17. Again, it's Woolen, who's been all over the place so far on this first drive. Dropping back to throw. Pressure up the middle. Screen pass. And touchdown saving tackle by number 52. And that would be Keith Williams. And that'll result in a field goal for Jacksonville State as they take the lead early in this game. Going to be our offense next here out to play. Quarterback throws down to 18, knocked incomplete. And the quarterback's going to be Hayes for this team. Nathan Hayes under center. Going to keep it himself, going to take off, gets tackled. Very dangerous run there by the quarterback. 3rd down and 3. With the running back in the backfield. Hayes dropping to throw, getting pressured, and he's going to be sacked. Sacked down by Austin of Jacksonville State, and that'll be a 3 and out unless we go for a field goal attempt here. The next drive for Jacksonville State. Oh, what a play made there by number 12. And that would be DJ Volts, one of our young corners, or is a senior this year. Again, pressure being thrown at this quarterback's face. Throws down the field, and Woolen and company were there to stop him. 3rd down here again for Jacksonville State. Pressure, and he's going to be sacked. The 2nd sack of the day. It's number 94. And forgive me for a second while I find his name here. Number 94, Logan Larson. There on the sack. And there's his name right there, graphic and all. Another extra feature that was added this year to this college game, which I absolutely love. Showing off every player when they make big plays just like that. All right, just like that, we're already on the 3rd down. Does Hayes have it in him to get us a 1st down? Let's find out. Drops back, looking for a receiver. Finds a man downfield. It's number 7. Caught it on the sideline. And that is our DJ Scott, the running back. Scott's already been involved plenty in this game. Here he goes again, this time in the run game. Being a very, very important piece of this offense. And now we're going 5 wide here on 2nd down. 18 seconds left and counting in this first quarter. Fired over the middle by Hayes, and that's going to be incomplete. So close to make the completion there, but he's just going to drop it, unfortunately. All right, a single back look on 3rd down and 4. Out to the side. Here is our DJ Scott, and he's going to be short, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. It is a 3-0 ball game with the Gamecocks so far on top. And it looks like coach decided to go for a field goal, which is good. So to start the second quarter, we get 3 points along with Jacksonville State's 3 points. And we have ourselves a tied ball game here in the first half. See what else this offense has in store here, as well as this defense. Throws over the middle, and that's going to be tight. But Jamil Williams will hold on. 3rd and 2. As the stadium's starting to get a little loud. And there goes a run. Easy 1st down made there by Christian Lando. Kind of need this defense to wake up a little bit. I mean, they held them to 3 last drive, but I'd love to get some more points off turnovers. And that's going to be a huge play down the middle. My goodness. Oh, caught in the middle of the field all the way down to the 29. And they're going to go no huddle here. Or at least they're going to rush to the line. Going to be a drop back. Throws and caught. And that's going to be a Jacksonville State touchdown. And that's going to be by, I believe, Christian Lando, who was, running up there up the seam. And nobody on him for some reason. And our defense just looked pretty mangled out there. I'm not sure what exactly happened. All right, let's see if we can get something else cooking up here, guys. It looks like we were going to go under center, and now all of a sudden we're going to go in single back formation. Shotgun. Now Hayes escapes out of it. Throws a cross body briefly, only for about 7 yards. Got one running back in the backfield. Nope, going to motion Scott out to the right. And going to give it to Scott. And he'll just go nowhere. Absolutely stuffed to the 30-yard line. Third down for this Bison offense. And here it goes, wide open downfield. Number 15 making the critical catch there. And that would be Makai Collins on the receiving end of that pass. He's going to send him in motion again. Fakes it. Tosses it out to 96. I think that's a tight end, as we have an injury here for Jacksonville State. And yeah, Abraham Myers was the tight end that caught that last pass. And here goes Scott up the middle. And Scott's got some breathing room. And he'll finally be taken down, not before he gets past the first down marker and all the way down to the Gamecocks' 28-yard line. Hayes going to take the snap, throws it out to his tight end Myers. And Myers will get up to the field at the 25. Here's Hayes again, throws short of middle. That's a different player, tight end. Get to learn his name now. Reese Kessel. Or Ryas Kessel. Not exactly sure. A Fargo native. And there goes Scott up the middle. He's got the first down after a 3rd and inches play just a moment ago. Gotta say, I love the camera angle of this broadcast view. It just looks really nice as Hayes looking, getting chased, and he can't get the ball away. He's sacked. As another Gamecock is down with an injury, unfortunately, but that was almost critical position on the field for us to get down to. We're lost about 15 yards in that last play. After losing 15 yards, here goes Hayes again, and that's on full. Wow. Looking for Scott, and it's going to be intercepted. On the screen pass, it's Austin, who we saw earlier today as well. And from what goes from one bad play to worse, as Walker Austin, who was already made a play earlier today, or just a few moments ago in this game, bounces off 77's back and right into his hands. Can't get any more unlucky than that. 3.5 minutes left to go in this first half, and it's still a 7-point ball game. And that's going to be taken outside on the screen. A huge hit there by number 6. Probably as a safety, I would bet. I can't get to him here for a second, but Jalen Crumby on the other end of that. And off to, I don't even know, the quarterback's going to keep it. Oh, what a hit. Number 8, Keenan Wilson, the defensive tackle, getting in there to make the stop, bringing up 3rd and 9. Got a loud stadium here on 3rd down and 9. 2:26 left in the first half. Quarterback throws, wide open receiver on the middle of the field. And just like that, they are now well in the red zone here as we hit the 2-minute timeout here in the first half. Single backfield, looking to throw. Tosses at the corner of the end zone, and he's wide open. Oh, but he knocks it down. I didn't quite see who made the play there, but that was a very much needed play. Handoff, running back. Oh, he's going to be tackled by Woolen. Now it's 1:25 left to play. 3rd and 11. Dropping back. Getting pressured up the middle. He's going to take off and run. And he'll be stopped short. Timeout taken, I think, by us. As, no, they're going to go for it. So we took a timeout assuming a field goal, but no, Jacksonville State's going to chance it here. And he will get it, unfortunately. Running back cannot be stopped. So Jacksonville State Gonna knock on the door here, and no, the running back's gonna go absolutely nowhere as we take our final timeout of the half. Second down and goal, running back in motion. Quarterback throws wide open, running back, nobody on him. And that's another touchdown for the Gamecocks. And with just under a minute 6 left to play in this, what's been a crazy first half, Christian Lando, seeming like a decent player as he scores his team's second touchdown of the game. Kind of hoping for a little bit more of a fight here in this week 1 game, but Charles, our guys are doing just as they can as Locke just goes nowhere. Or Scott, rather. Goes absolutely nowhere. Here goes Hayes. Throws, completes. And timeout taken by the Gamecocks. Trying to probably preserve their defense. 3rd and 7. We need an answer here. Hayes. Throwing underneath, and he'll just be short. I would recommend going for it, but I'm not necessarily down there to do it. And unfortunately, we will be punting this ball away. So that is likely the end of the first half. And just like that, we have hit halftime in our first game here on College Football 27 NDSU Dynasty, and not looking pretty. 17-3, Jacksonville State dominating so far, but we'll get to look around the country in this halftime show. As you can see, Virginia beating up on NC State, their ACC rival. Neat to see some of these teams around the league here. And here's Memphis, UNLV, other games, North Carolina, TCU, and others. They never show that for very long, I will say that. And after that brief halftime intermission, we're going to be right back where we were in the Fargo Dome, as we're not going to get much on that play, but gotta get something happening here, because otherwise this might be a very long season. As Scott gets the handoff, he goes absolutely nowhere, loses a yard. And here goes Hayes, handoff to Scott. Scott up the middle, gets a turn, and gets 5 yards away from the first down. 3rd down and 5, Hayes takes it himself, and he's stuffed short. He tried to find a gap, and he just couldn't quite get there. All right, the Gamecocks now staring at a 2nd and 20 after a huge loss by the running back, as he'll get the ball again. I think it might be a different one, actually, but he'll get up there, and he'll get about 10 yards. He'll basically be back to where they started. 3rd down and 10 here. Oh, he lost the football. He dropped it, and that's going to be picked up by the defense, and we get the ball at their 15-yard line. That was Kelton McClellan with that recovery on the fumble. I'm not sure what happened there. It must have been a miscommunication. It went really fast. I'm not sure exactly why, but chalk it up already as one of the top plays of this dynasty that we've already seen. Especially if we win this game. Here goes Hayes. And Hayes will be tackled at about the 10. So 3rd down and 5 looming. We can still get a first down. We don't have to go for the end zone. At least not right away. Scott in the backfield, going to hand off. He's not going to get there. That wasn't even Scott on the carry there. That was our other running back. We are going to be going for it. That was Miles Mitchell, the freshman in the backfield. Hayes looking. Hayes throws. Hayes caught by the running back. That is, again, Miles Mitchell. And we're now 1st and goal at the 3. Hayes looks. And he's sacked. Oh, wow. That guy came in hot. That was Butler of the Gamecocks, showing no mercy. Miles Butler coming out of a rocket on that last sack, and that's going to set us back a few yards, but hopefully we can recover from it. 2nd and goal. Throws over the middle on a slant. That's caught at the 2. 3rd down and goal by number 81. I don't have his name pulled up here, but hopefully we'll see it here if he scores. Motion the tight end over. Hand off Max Mitchell. Nope. And I thought the quarterback kept it. Nope, but he didn't. But we're going to go for another field goal with just under 5 minutes left to play in this game, or in this 3rd quarter. And if field goes up, it is 17-6 is now the score. Play made. Oh, and oh, what a play, potentially. That would have been huge. I wasn't going to say anything because I thought that was just going to be, you know, not a big play, but that was almost a huge play by our defense. Quarterback just sneaks through, and he's tackled finally at the 20, but man, could you imagine if our guy would have caught that ball? That would have been an instant touchdown, and this game would have completely turned around. 3rd down and 5 here. Being chased. Throws, overthrows, incomplete pass. Our next drive, 1st down and 10. Gonna motion Mitchell out. Gonna throw it to our receiver here, and it's down to about the 38. Kind of like the way we're doing our off. I don't know why. I don't know what about it, but just the way we're just kind of keeping things flowing. Maybe it's the way the game just moves, but goes Hayes, dropping back. Throws down the middle of the field. Caught at about the 36 by number 80. And forgive me again, I have to look up his name because I'm not as familiar with this roster. Jacob Kilzer. I want to say Kisler. Kilzer. He gets the pass there. Hayes again dropping back, getting pressured out of his mind, and just throws that one away. And off to Mitchell, who maneuvers his way, hurdles over a man. 3rd and 4 as Jackson State has another injury. It's one of their best players. I believe that was Butler, who was slow to get up. 3rd down and 4, 2.5 left to play in the 3rd. Gonna motion Kilzer out to the flat there. Hayes gonna take off himself. I need you to get down there, buddy. And there he does finally. But unfortunately, I think is he hurt? Injury timeout showed up real quickly after that. So it would appear that Hayes went down with an injury. So now we have our backup in. And he's going to throw out to the wide open receiver out on the side. And that's going to be a huge gain. So I'm not sure who's in the game at quarterback who's checked in, but let's hope he is able to complete this drive here. Handoff, running back. Nope, not going to get anywhere. That's Mitchell. And a lot of injuries happening in this game. That's so far something I've noticed, I guess. Not sure why it's happening, but it seems like it's happening a lot already really early on. 3rd down and 3 here with 1:51 left. Gonna take off. I don't know why you're doing that, dude. The last guy got hurt doing that, and there's a 4th and inches. And coach just says, you know, let's just go for it. Why not? Throws and oh, he's gonna be short. He's gonna be short. Not the play call I would have made, but I guess they saw an opening there. They assumed they were just gonna let him through, but man, oh, but a nice tackle though. An excellent tackle there on the other side of things. So they're at their 6-yard line. Quarterback throws downfield. Pushed out at about the 9. Hopefully about the 10, but it was at the 9 apparently as they marked it. 3rd down and 10. Looking for someone. Throws upfield and knocked away. Excellent defense. So at least this team is showing a little bit of a fight. Not perfect, but hey, we're able to stay competitive. That is all that matters to me, is we have a nice decent return there, but not a whole lot. It's like Hayes' return to the game. He has. Throws wide open. I don't know how you can leave that guy more open. Number 18. Open downfield. Now to the end of the 3rd. Alright, and here we are now in the 4th quarter. 2nd down and 3. Hayes drops back. Note the backup's in. And Mitchell's going to get broken tackle. And he'll be taken down. Finally stopped at the 1. So we are in our best field position we've had yet. And the quarterback keeps it. And he dives in for our first touchdown of the series. And all of a sudden, just like that, is a game again. It's Preston Brown with the score. The sophomore quarterback stepping in for Nathan Hayes. And we're going to go for 2. Try and make it a 3-point game. Looking. Toss out to Mitchell. And Mitchell just runs it in. All of a sudden, a 3-point game with 10 minutes left in the fourth. I think Jacksonville State is a little bit shocked after what just happened. See what the Gamecocks have next. Handoff up the middle. And Woolen going to make the tackle on Lando. 2nd and 6. Play fake. Quarterback scrambles. Gets pressured. And tackled finally again by Lando. Or not Lando. Woolen. Who's been all over the field today. Huge 3rd down and 4. And incomplete. A little off target on the screen pass. And just like that, they're punting this ball away, giving us plenty of time to try and take the lead for the first time today. In a game that I thought was over almost as soon as it started. Alright, looks like Preston Brown's back in at quarterback because he's just going to take the 3 options. And he's going to break free. I don't think there's anybody down there. He's all the way at the 30, at the 20. He might go the distance. And he's going to be stopped short at the 2. I sincerely apologize for any of the people listening to this with headphones. I didn't mean for that, but 68 yards on that catch and on that quarterback keep or quarterback scramble, and he almost ran it right in. So 1st and goal from the 2, hand off to Mitchell, and just like that, we've come all the way back. Down 17-6. And so far, we're leading by 3. Still plenty of time, obviously, for Jacksonville State to respond, but 7:41, we're leading 21-17 as this return only gets up to about the 20. I gotta be extra careful here now. Here goes the screen, and our defense is right there. Not sure what exactly woke them up or flipped the switch, so to speak, but so far it's working. Takes the snap, throws to the tight end, and he'll be finally taken down at about the 25. 3rd down 2, just over 5 left to play. Looking, throws, caught, and the drive continues. 1st and 10, single back. Lando, and there goes a nice completion. Number 11. And this team ain't messing around. They're continuing to try and get this game over with here. Tight end gets a nice completion and gets all the way taken down at about the 39. So we're letting up a little on defense. Not something I really want to see, but it's happening, it seems like, anyways. And the running back, not Lando, but a different one, comes in and loses a yard. Need to see this defense step up a little bit, if you know what I'm saying. I think they will. Throws, oh, that's wide open. You can't leave that open. And these guys need a touchdown to win the game, so a field goal will not help them. Here goes Creel, looking, and he's sacked! Oh, a huge sack! Our 4th of the game, number 94. Gets to him again. And that is none other than Logan Larson, the big defensive tackle. Creel a little shooken now. 2-minute warning hit. And looking to throw. Wide open down the field. My goodness. Tackled finally though. 4th down. This is the game. If they can't get this. I mean, they have all 3 timeouts, but we're under the 2-minute timeout already. Here goes Creel. Looking, throws, there's a flag. Is this going to be holding or is this going to be on the defense? My hope is it's holding, but nope, it's going to be roughing the passer. And that's going to be Kelton McClassen. Fortunately going to get there a little late. Fortunately, that means now the Gamecocks are at the 7. And the quarterback's just going to run it in. Yeah, Creel runs it in. Oh, I really hope that wasn't a drive killer, or game killer, but it kind of was. Regardless, we still have a whole 1:17 left to try and get the lead back, which is plenty of time. All right, Bryce Brown now in at quarterback. We kind of need a miracle here. 1:07 left to play. Second down. Gotta find an open guy, dude. You gotta find an open dude. That's not gonna work, unfortunately. Brown looks to throw. Plenty of protection. He's just gonna take off with his legs. And he will get the first down. That'll be a timeout taken by the game, or a timeout taken by NDSU, rather. 54 seconds left. Dumps it off to his tight end, and that's going to only get a couple yards. Kind of need a little bit more than that on this final drive here, potentially of the game. Brown looks to throw. Dumps it off to the receiver. You need to get out of bounds, and he does not. That's our last timeout. So, end zone or nothing, basically. Or a field goal to send to overtime. Looking, throws, incomplete, stops the clock. Our receiver did get open there, but not before he threw the ball. Another looking to pass. Steps up. And, oh, I don't know how you don't call a flag there. That could have potentially been a huge call. But so instead, it's a no call. You could have also just ran it too. I don't know why he didn't do that. Here's Brown, throws, sideline incomplete. This is for the game. 4th down and 10. 30 seconds left. Brown under center. Needs you to hold. And he does. He completes it. 25 seconds left. Need to run up and spike it. And maybe we don't even need to spike it. Actually, no, we do, because the clock now starts. Man, this game for our season opener, already a classic. Brown looking, plenty of protection, plenty of room. Where are we going? I have no idea what we're doing. Oh my goodness. And that's going to be it. I don't know how you don't just get out of bounds or whatever. I mean, he had guys open. Unless he saw, I don't know what he's looking at necessarily. I mean, there's a tight end wide open there. There's a guy chilling. Number 80 over here, you can see. He's just kind of chilling in the open field. I don't know if he can... He might not be able to throw it that far, to be fair, but, like... You got him as an option. You had this tight end as an option. It wasn't 4th down. You still had plenty of time, or just throw it away. But instead, he decides to run over to the left here. And then tries to throw it away, but it just... Literally, he got hit as he threw, and then it just... And the defender, it bounced twice. It actually hit. It didn't really hit anything, to be fair, but like, wow. Hits off his thing, and then the defender's right there to grab it. Unbelievable. So unfortunately, that is going to be a heartbreaking way to end our season opener against the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Caden Creel had an unbelievable game as well, but yeah, I thought we had him on the ropes, if I'm being honest, but fortunately we just couldn't make plays when we needed to on defense. That penalty really cost us in the end. And we'll have to look forward to next week to try and bounce back. Alright, so now with that game done, we can take maybe a brief look at the box score if we really want to. We didn't play a bad game, all things considered. But unfortunately, we just didn't make the plays when we needed to. We didn't have any passing touchdowns from our quarterbacks. Not exactly sure why Preston Brown came in. Maybe it was a wear and tear thing, maybe not. But Preston Brown also led us in rushing, obviously. And then our receivers, we spread out the ball a pretty fair amount, which I was pretty pleased about. Blocking was pretty okay. Donovan Woolen was all over the place. Keenan Wilson was all over the place. In terms of just defensive, presence. Keenan Wilson, Donovan Woolen were both all over the place. Logan Larson was also there as well. A couple of just incredible plays made by the defense, but in the end, it sadly was not quite enough. Unfortunately, they get the victory, and unfortunately, like I said, that penalty that we had towards the end of the game, unfortunately, really cost us the game. So it's sad, but unfortunately, we have to kind of look at it as a learning opportunity and move on. So I am also going to be moving on the week here just before we end the episode because I want to at least see exactly who we're going to be playing next week. I believe I already know this, but I just want to also double check. And plus we get to see if we get to look at some of our recruiting things as well. So our next game appears to be against the FCS Northwest, which is a team that NCAA does, or at least is in these college games to stand for the to be in place for all the different FCS schools that are not in the game currently. I don't know if they'll ever be in the game because there's just so many of them to keep track of. But what they do is they obviously put they kind of group them all into different regions. So you got Northwest, you got Southeast, Northeast, Southwest. You get the idea. Midwest as well. But the point is that these teams are supposed to act as teams that the teams play in real life, and are kind of just placeholders. So they're not necessarily, for example, they don't include any real players. The roster is completely fictional. The coach is completely fictional, all that sort of things. And obviously the stats count for your players, but obviously against your defense and all that, I think. But there obviously it doesn't count towards anything else other than that. Just kind of as, again, a placeholder team, so you can kind of pretend like, oh, I'm playing this certain team in the FCS, but in this game, it only recognizes it under one of those generic teams that it provides for you. But on that note, we are going to be ending the second episode here of the NDSU Dynasty. I know you guys are probably a little disappointed because you wanted to see me play more than one game, but hey, we had, I think, a very excellent game for episode, well, technically 2, but a first game episode. We had a classic. It was amazing to watch. We almost came back and won, but just fell a little short. So hopefully, moving forward, we'll be able to, do better and only move up from there. So yeah, that's gonna be it for now from me. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Be sure to check out any other videos I post on this channel and my other channels as well. If you want to see more content like this or others content if you are interested in that. But again, that's all for now. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, remember to stay safe, be kind, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.